Hi everybody. So today we're going to focus on fixing another bug we have in our backdoor. I'm saying bug, but that's not necessarily a bug, but we're using Phoenix Live View, which is supposed to be like real time. And whenever I have two tabs open, you can clearly see when I click something in one, it doesn't actually happen in another until I have to perform like another action or reload the page. And the same happens in the sessions themselves. When I enter some code here, it doesn't appear here until I like reload the session or reload the whole page. So that's obviously not ideal, and let's try fixing that. The usual way to do that in Phoenix Live View is to use Phoenix PubSub, and that's precisely what we're going to do because we're not very original. And Phoenix Live View in with PubSub works in a way that whenever your component or live view, whenever your live view actually mounts, you have to subscribe to the PubSub. I think it's Phoenix PubSub, and we need to figure out the PubSub server. Find server and the topic. And I'm just gonna set the topic name. So whenever something's sent to a PubSub server and giving topic name, we are going to receive a message that we can handle in handle info clause. So this find PubSub server, and I want this thing to be like zero configuration, so that but also be able for users to be able to configure certain things, and this PubSub server is one of those. It should be by default taken from the endpoint, and we can find the endpoint in the socket endpoint variable. So we can find it from here. And what do we do when we find it? I have some code somewhere found from, I think, Live Dashboard. They're doing it very similar way. Endpoint config PubSub server. And this is like a different version of Phoenix, I think. So we have to have both. Now, we want to store that value though, and I'll allow user to overwrite it, configure it if you want. So I will use application environment variable to do that. So when this thing is set, we should just return the value. But when it's not set, we need to figure out the value, server equals whatever, and then we want to put env backdoor, and we want to PubSub server, and we want to return this server. Here we go. So this will work in a way that on the first mount, it will figure out what's the PubSub server, set this environment variable unless it's been explicitly set by the user, and then just return the value for us. All right, so that should work. Let's see whether it compiles and doesn't break anything. It doesn't do anything just yet, but it looks like it works. Cool. In that case, we can start implementing the actual changes here. So we will be receiving the events. As I said, in handle info, and one event is going to be put log that we will receive whenever a new log has been added, either by this live view or some other live view. And this will do more or less what this thing does. No reply socket, logs, and log. Cool. I think this is not necessary anymore. And in our log, we want to do the same. Actually, PubSub server, but here we're only getting that from the application environment because it's actually already set. So let's do that here. And whenever new log has been inserted, is being inserted, we also broadcast it. So we need the topic. And we broadcast. Server, topic name, put log. That's what we agreed upon. Okay, that should somehow work already, I think. That was my second tab. Here we go. Session, A equals 1. No, it's totally broken. B equals 1. Is it totally broken or just not broadcasting? Okay, it's not broadcasting, so I did something wrong. We have the subscribe. Okay, topic name. I don't know if I copied it correctly. Here we go. Here's the difference. Always copy the code and not try to retype. Oh, that should be better. So I get the same session. I think I might need to reload it though. That's one. Where's the other one? Here we go. Session A equals 1. That's way better. B equals 2 and some error. That all appears really nicely, except this input now doesn't clear up, and that's because I've been kind of like doing it wrong from the start. It just works by accident. Let's actually fix that. In order to make this input controlled, kind of like in React, I'll just have the input value here, default it to nothing. And blah, 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 blah. And we have value. This is the input value. Here we go. Now, whenever this input change, set input value is going to be executed. So we need to have another handle event that's going to be set input value, and this is the command, command, and socket. We set this input value to the command, and whenever actually we finish executing the command, we change it, set it to like 0. Okay, let's have a look. We have this session A equals 1. It cleared the input. Okay, let's clean up the session and start it another. Yeah, we have to fix that as well. Anyway, here and here A equals 1. I'm starting to type here. B equals 2. That's perfect. It only clears the input value in this tab, doesn't affect this one, and it's actually real time. Nice. So next thing on the list is to handle this list of sessions in similar way, so that instead of when we start session, instead of that being here, we need to have like an event that says that sessions changed. I think I'm actually gonna name it like that. Session IDs changed. All right. And this will just do, we could broadcast the session IDs already, so avoid some querying here multiple times. So I think I'll just assume that we are going to have it already broadcasted to us. Socket, assign session IDs, and this is session IDs changed, or maybe just session IDs. Session IDs, session IDs. I think those are integers, so they should serialize nicely over the channel. That shouldn't be an issue. Session IDs, session IDs. Cool. And now we can get rid of some code. So when we start session and when we stop session, session IDs, this can be removed. And here as well. Yeah, okay, that can be removed. Now, this broadcast should be made from sessions. Session. So we have start session and we have stop session. For now, I'm just copying this code here to find the pub subserver and the topic name. I'm going to copy that now. And now start session, stop session. This will all do the broadcast. So similar to doing it here. Start session. Actually, let's make a function that broadcast those session IDs, right? So it will do something similar to what we did there. Pub subserver, topic name, session IDs, and we can do that with just call this function session IDs. We will receive it. Okay, cool. Now we have to broadcast it. So after the session has been started, we do broadcast session IDs. And after the session has been stopped, we also broadcast session IDs. Actually, here probably we also want to like do we care about return value? Stop session, no we don't. So for now I will just broadcast at the very end, so in case there's an error as well when stopping the session, we should probably preserve the return value. Well, for now we don't care, so just let's do it one like that. Okay, so we got session, that was different thing. So we start a new, okay, let's reload the whole thing. And now when we start new session, it should appear in the other one. When we stop the session, that should be gone from the other one. I think that's pretty cool. We can type something here. I'm wondering whether we have a bug created. So I'm here in the session number 8 and here in the session number 11, and I do a equals 1. Yes. Okay, so I created a bug that different sessions, they get the same input. So we have to actually filter out when we log, broadcast put log has to have also another another argument which says what's the session ID that this relates to. We have our code runner that's doing this put log at the moment, and this is the log value. Session ID, it already takes the session ID, but it doesn't pass it to the log itself. So let's fix it. And maybe actually not, maybe not. Maybe let's move it out from here and let's clean this up, this code up. So we will broadcast directly from here, because I think that's the only place where we log things at the moment. So we might want to keep this agent lean and clean, and instead do a little more work here. So we get log broadcast pub sub server topic name put log to the session ID and value. All right, that should probably be better. And now here in the handle info put log session ID log, we should be checking whether this session ID is the same as the session ID in the socket. So we have current session ID here on the socket. So I think we can do it when with a guard session ID as ID, and in other cases we are going to just ignore this handle info. Let's see. So I'm here in the session 8 and here as well in the session 8. A equals 1. That works. I'm here in the session 9, here in the session 8. B equals 2. And something actually crashed. Handle info, get away. Input, put log, input, B equals 2, put log, handle info. I did something stupid, didn't I? Yes, I did. This goes away. So actually, we don't care about that anymore. And we actually don't care about this and this, because we specifically want to ignore and filter those values out. Session 8, a equals 1. Cool. Session 9 and session 8, a equals 1. Cool. B equals 2. Cool. 9, 8. I think that's cool. Let's clean everything up. It disappeared, except there's another bug which we just found. When you remove the current session in the other tab, this view is not getting cleared, and I think even is going to start crashing when I start executing something. Yeah, here we go. And now it reloaded. But we can fix this. So session IDs. There's an event somewhere here. Yes, when we set the new session IDs. So what we can do is, if the current session ID is within those present session IDs, we won't do anything and we'll just have this code. But if the current session ID is not among those, we will set this. We will reset the current session ID to nil. Case member. Sorry, I think it's enum member. Session IDs. Like that. If it's a member, that means it's okay, so we don't have to do anything. If else, we need to do that and reset the current session ID. This or the other way around. So when it's a member, yes, I think that's correct. Okay, let's start some more sessions. Oh, so something's crashing. Current session ID not found in current. Too much of a U letter. Okay, cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. But I'm here going to open session number 13. A equals something. Let's crash it. Session 13. Cool. I'm gonna close it, and now it reset correctly. Just one more test. Maybe one more test when I close it from the actual place that I'm looking at it. Bam, that's good. All right, cool. I think we made it so that the sessions are currently our tabs are currently in sync, and we can start working on. We actually simplified some code, I think, and we also now can start working on the capturing output, which is going to be a next task for us. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.